And as you feel your own toroidal field spinning around you, I'm going to invite you to have an experience of sensing and feeling yourself as your own star, your own star of light. And that as you anchor this energy, that there is a powerful vibration that when we get to hold it through this intention of love, that we know love creates just a massive field around us. But that if we start to hold the lower vibrations and frequencies, that this vibration that we hold literally starts to shrink our capacity to be a star, to be a solar being. And in truth, that when we begin to actually embrace within us, and this is something that was super powerful that we were talking about in the earlier soul circle today, was this ability to begin to harness within us the 0 point field. And that the 0 point field in so many ways is us learning how to embrace the void, the darkness within us, that the darkness within us, that black hole in the middle of a sun, that black hole in the middle of a star, that black hole that is within every atom of our body is our womb of no thing. It is our gravitational field. And if you examine the toroidal field, it actually emanates from a point that is a physical point right within our heart. And I'm going to invite you to just feel within yourself that your core star that you are emanates and connects on a quantum level from your actual physical region of your heart in your physical body. And as we align ourselves with this discernment in life, what we're really doing is we're saying, I declare and intend that I choose to align with unconditional love. I choose to align with the highest vibrations of Christ consciousness. I choose to align with unity consciousness. I choose to align with shareable waves. Shareable waves of plasma, shareable waves of filaments of light, shareable waves of electrical magnetic frequencies, shareable waves of the base codes and frequencies of the sacred geometry of the universe. Being shareable waves means that we are aligning our electrical magnetic field of our body to be in the highest resonance, like a Lego that can plug into larger and larger and larger cosmic morphogenetic patterns and sacred geometries with the larger bodies of the universe that we are actually born of. And when you really truly create your toroidal field of discernment based on these law of one teachings, you're amplifying your field. And what you are doing is you are starting to actually send a message to the cosmic family that says, I'm learning how to activate my star that I am. That in truth, if we are vibrating at lower frequencies, fear, shame, all of these things, that really in truth what we're doing, I'm going to share a few different pictures this evening. These are all just kind of all over the place. That when we start to share these vibrations in so many ways, we lower our capacity to hold a larger toroidal field that is held by the star right within us. Now, when our heart starts to anchor and have assuredness of who we truly are, which means we start to eliminate the doubt, the insecurity, the fear, the limitation, we start to really fully and completely allow ourselves to just transmute any of the karmic patterns, that gate 44 in the Scorpio that we've been working with, all of that just starts to just transmute through us. And here's how it really works. That truly anything that cannot withstand the highest vibrations of the spark of light, the cosmic light of creation, that when we amplify that, it either is going to match our frequency and elevate and merge and become one with it, or it is actually going to just burn up and dissipate and clear out of our body. So there are some of you that have been talking about sinuses, kind of flaring up a little bit more. There's some of us that might be having night sweats from time to time. There's some of us that might all of a sudden be experiencing hives, breakouts, feeling as though our body is going through shifts and changes. This is a physical, visceral experience that we're going through of actually feeling our body transmuting old karmic patterns within us. And as it's purging through micro and macro, we're feeling it burn karma out of the body. We're feeling it move out of the body. And sometimes it comes out like a sinus infection or like not to be really gross, but these are just bodily fluids, that it'll come through as mucus. It'll come through as a purging. Sometimes it'll feel all of a sudden like your lungs have all kinds of stuff to cough up and get out of your body. There's times, depending on which chakra is really clearing for you, that you might have the experience of literally feeling as though you've had a fever, that you're coming down with something, and really you're not sick. It's just the body utilizing its natural gifts and abilities of homeostasis, which means it just turns up the heat. You light up the fire within, you light up your fire codes within, and those fire codes literally start to purge out all anti-Christic energy within your body in order to allow your body to be the new codes of transmutation on earth. Now, if I could say this in 5 different ways to get how special this is our body being a karma resolution vehicle. When we take on the path in this lifetime to potentially transmute a lot of viruses, transmute multiple illnesses, go through certain challenges within our body, and we actually go through the process of healing and clearing that within ourselves, you become the base model for all future humanity of these new transmuted codes within the human body. Your simple task that it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm just cleaning up my own stuff. We're not. It's the incredible thing about it is that we're not just doing it for us. Literally, you transmuting a lot of the shadow, the miasma, the heavy karma. Remember, whose body are we actually healing? We're healing divine Gaia Sophia's body. It's her body. She lent it to us and she said, here, take a piece of me. I'm so happy to share some of my body with you so that we can share this conscious experience with each other and wake up to dreaming with each other. But while you use my body, while you borrow me, would you mind helping out? Would you mind helping me heal? And this is really the gift that we get to play with right now. And so as we get to look at some of this energy, there's so many different things. I apologize, I didn't really get any of these slides in order. This is kind of a huge energy that's just coming forward for us to revisit. But the main reason why we've been called to really look at the energy of the Seraphim. So the Seraphim, the winged ones, is that tomorrow, November 11, the 1111 gate, the 1111 stargate that we get to work with, the energy that we're already in the middle of, is really an angelic stargate, an 1111 stargate of allowing us to work with the Archangel Michael family line. And the Archangel Michael family line is a gold ray lineage line. So I'm going to show a lot of these pictures are from the energetic synthesis, especially the Ascension glossary. So as we show this, this is symbolizing the Trinity or the Tri-Founder flame. And that when we see this, that we can see there's the gold ray, there's the blue ray, and there's the violet ray. And right kind of in the Trinity, I love how the artist that she works with really gets to depict this, is we have the Emerald Order. The Emerald Order, if you hear this term over and over when we talk about our Emerald Heart, when we talk about our alignment to the blue ray beings, to activating our Emerald starseed mission, if you will, which is really a Christ consciousness mission, that this is really coming from the guardian or the founder races. Now, as we look at this, even this image right here, this is really more of a vibration of what a guardian truly is. It's a cosmic being that generally comes from another higher multiverse, other level of consciousness or expansion. And I don't want to go too far and kind of to the dimensional things, but that as we even look at this consciously, that we actually can see that these eternal cosmic solar Christ consciousness beings are creator gods from the God worlds, and they descend into the lower matrices. Lower matrices are basically imagining at the very origin of this burst of light. So again, imagining a burst of light comes in, and it comes in with all of the seeds, all of the codes, all of the patterns within it, and it's all held within basically the seed, the the atom, even, if you will. And it's a much higher vibration than that, but I'm just going to put it as if it was just like a molecule, an electron, an atom. And within these codes comes through these cosmic beings who are truly the solar dragons. This is why we speak the word dragon over and over again, is because we're really rewriting our memories of who these solar beings are, these beings of light. And as we tap into these beings are truly like these expressive waves of light that move out and hold the grids and the fabrics and the patterns and the matrices, which are like a web upon a web upon a web upon a web of these patterns, which are actually sacred geometries of creation. And as we get to work with these levels of consciousness, that truly, as we imagine these beings, I'm actually going to see if I can get to a Seraphim picture here. We actually get to start to connect with one of the creation of these dragon solar rishi beings. And we can imagine from the tri-founder flame, the gold ray, the blue ray, and the violet ray, that as they emerged out as this stream of consciousness that really was a sound tone of creation that created light, that then created all of the patterning upon the plasma field of creation, that we have within it these beings that are actually truly plasma beings of light. The Seraphim lineage is one of the original founder primal sound fields of the Gold Ray Order. The Seraphim lineage is basically connected to the Archangelic Michael family lineage line. The Seraphim lineage are the winged ones. And as we imagine these beings, that they're very connected to the Orifem and the avian genetic lines, but they're actually different radiances of angelics. And as you imagine these, they're depicted in many different ways, but in truth, if we were to see them in their original form, they are spinning wheels of geometry, that their flames of plasma light actually radiate out around them and look like wings. But these wings are not feathers. These wings are rays of plasma light. And they flutter and they move and they hold these sacred geometries. They are the spinning wheels of creation, that as we even start to kind of understand these beings, they're basically plasma charge beings that hold within them the fields, the eternal fields of light. And as they hold the eternal fields of light, that they actually hold the angles through the sacred geometry of our cosmic universe. And I know that sounds like an awful lot to even try to conceptualize when we mainly think of angels as looking like people with wings. It's not that at all. They are so much more massive than that. And also on a quantum level, they exist within your chemistry of your body. So, again, I actually have a link on this, or just a little word on this book right here. This is something that it's actually a really interesting read by Matthias Fleury, the 9 Devas of Crystalline Atomic Fire. But they're the downloads of the nine, and it's just an incredible book that goes into so much detail about the chemistry of the body. It's pretty wild, but it's a beautiful way to understand that the way that the angelic energy works through us is more in an elemental kind of way, if we were actually to think about it, because when it works with us and we ask for healing, this healing is happening in the way our hormones communicate with each other, our chemistry communicates with each other, how our neuroprocessors are working in our body. And if you can imagine the micro and the macro, what this is the lines of communication. They are the messengers. Now they're messengers, micro, macro. Micro level, these are the beings that actually hold the patterns of creation. The dragons are the beings that hold the patterns of creation, that create the patterns for everything, for suns, for stars, all the way down to here where we see the patterns for trees, for animals, and the pattern even for our own body. And this is why when we have the experience of seeing this tri-founder flame, and we see these flames and we sit and we go like, well, how did feline forms come out of it? And well, what about mantis? And what about snake and reptilian and dog and dolphin and all of these original forms of creation, right? We sit and go like, oh, well, how did all of it come and birth through from it? Is because in the original forms, it's forms of light. And as we get to experience this, as the matrices step down or become denser within their patterning within each other, the denser they become. So the more layers of patterning of the matrix or the morphogenetic fields overlaying and overlapping and creating more and more intricate designs, they become denser. The light starts to slow down. The chemistry and the way physics works starts to shift and change. And then we start to realize that these beings utilize part of their body. We talk about a lot of starseed nations and we go like, oh, well, they shared parts of their body. And these 22 say, for instance, races came together and they all shared part of their body. What they're really sharing is their light codes and patterns, their genetics in that way. And that when those are bound together, new forms are created. Now, I'm going to kind of go back in here because I want to show our sacred geometry. Just as everything within creation has kind of a sense of it being this torus field, so are we. This is the sound codes. So the dragons are made up of geometry itself. So when you fall asleep at night, this is something really special for you guys to understand how you're already involved with this, how you're already interacting with these guardians, how you're already receiving the downloads. When you go to sleep at night, I invite you to see your time when you go to bed as your time when you're actually just stepping into another office, so to speak. You're stepping into the next level of communication. When you wake up, you're here in this reality. When you go to sleep, I invite you to go to sleep saying, okay, here I come. I am ready to connect. I am ready to connect with the guardians, my guides, my higher self. I am ready to go to work through my light body, through whatever other multidimensional planes that I am currently working on through my other avatars of consciousness. And as you find yourself going to sleep, I invite you to even be conscious, do some of the lucid dreaming practices in bed in order to be mindful. And I can only share with you my experience, but I have heard others have this very similar experience is you close your eyes, and as you allow yourself to really go into your 0 point field, connect not only with your pineal gland, but come into a centered place within your heart, that you will start to see, and again, this is with eyes closed, so you're seeing with your pineal eye, your third eye. You will start to see geometry. You will start to see potentially colors, spinning wheels of geometry. Might even see shapes. You might see actual faces or visions or things within you. The best way that I can even describe it from an artistic point of view is when you see people depict what an ayahuasca or a DMT journey might look like, and you see kind of all of these geometries happening. It's actually really quite spot on. When you go to sleep at night, you will find yourself immediately being pulled into the divine cosmic creator realm of the cosmic dragons. And within this, these are beings of geometry. This is how you will actually sense and feel and see even the Seraphim, the Oraphim. And they many times come as they will be looking at you, but they're like wheels of light that spin and move. And as they come and connect with you, that you can understand that this is your gift to actually breathe them in, pull them in, ask them to assist you in matching your vibration and frequency in any way possible, to upgrade your frequency to match their vibration, to allow yourself to welcome whatever shifts and changes are necessary in the hormones of your body and the levels of internal communication within your body and your neuroprocessors within your body. One of the main ways they work with us is constantly upgrading how our brain processes, because if it stayed stagnant, it couldn't keep up with our levels of ascension. It couldn't keep up with us evolving through holding more light codes of consciousness. So part of the ways that they work with us and why it feels like all of a sudden there's just bright lights in the room, even if your room's pitch black, it'll feel like bright lights. It'll feel like movement. You might feel buzzing in your ears, sound, all of these things. I invite you to celebrate that, welcome that, and with discernment of your open heart, to really utilize this space, because this is how we, in this physical reality, can actually have the full connection to the divine blueprint of creation. This is what pulls you inward into the inner initiation temples within yourself. There's nothing really outside of us that we need to look for. And in truth, as much as it's amazing to feel the ships and the contact and all of that, our higher vibrational families can connect with us fully and completely on the internal plane as well. So this is just another way that makes it easier for them to connect with us. So as we hold this energy, I wanted to just show a couple more things with this vibration. One is just our cosmic patterning within creation. And as we hold this torus of energy, the Ouroboros is another symbol for us to understand that this is actually a vibration that shows the spinning wheels of the Seraphim. The Seraphim are considered the winged serpents, because within the cosmic body, we see them as spinning serpents. And we're going to look at some other pictures from the James Webb. We might see them as spinning circles, but really it's working with our consciousness to be aware that these are plasma rays of light. And it's the way that the cosmic energy is spinning within the universe. And as it spins in this way, that we see it as the Ouroboros, which is a representation of the cycles of life, of the cycles of the cosmic body, of the constant spinning, living life of creation. And it is seen as these spinning circles. Within this, I don't have a picture of the caduceus up right now, but the caduceus is an example of the Seraphim, which is the intertwining serpents, which moves through us. And where does it move through us? Well, we know that our Kundalini is considered to be coiled at the base of our tailbone, and that when it awakens, it moves up our spinal column, and it's meant to connect within our pineal gland, to awaken the Christ anointment within our pineal gland, which is the sacred elixir of life, that when it drips down as the sacred fluid, it creates the awakening within. We are the awakening right within here. And so as these serpents move, that these spinning wheels of creation, these seraphim energies, work together in tandem with another energy, which is the Oraphim. And the Oraphim are another angelic energy within creation. And I really want to reiterate on a massive level, this is where we talk about the Elohim, the Seraphim, the Oraphim. Theme is fire, the beings of fire. Now, as we understand these levels of creation, these are beings of pure fire and light, the angelic fire letters, the angelic light, the language of light. And at this radiant level, it's kind of like watching electricity spin. And it's going to just do what it's doing until an outside force or some intention, the spirit, the intention moves it. And if the intention moves it, therefore now we have something that can create. And so when you even see the caduceus with the serpents intertwining on it, but the wings at the top, this is actually implying a merging of two angelic energies that have intertwined together in order to create creation in so many other ways and levels of healing. We see this, the caduceus, in some ways it's taken as a symbol of healing, but in truth, it really symbolizes the energy of our body, the energy of who we are. Now, as we get to play with this energy, why so much about all of this when we're talking about Archangel Michael and the beautiful golden ray and seraphim lineage line? So as we think about these angelic beings in the Archangelic Michael family lineage line, we talk about how are these codes distorted? How are these family lines? How have they been utilized through negative forces, parasitic forces? And it's a little bit of a major storyline within there, but I want to give just for a moment the impression that we're talking about massive light codes of energy. And these beings that are called the angelics are called angelics because they hold guardianship. The archangels hold guardianship over the arc points, the angles. The angels guard the angles. And when the sacred geometry, when you look at sacred geometry and the points where the geometry points come together, these are the places where the archangels and the angelics really hold guardianship, and they have the ability to move through the angles. And it's kind of difficult to even describe it because we can't even understand how to move dimensionally through all of the sacred geometry and all of these angles, but holding these angles actually are like stargates. It's the ability to move between multiple realities, multiple worlds, multiple dimensions, multiple levels of creation. And they are moving through these multiple levels of creation as these light beings, the shining ones, the beings of light, the shining wheels of light, the winged serpents, the rainbow serpents. I mean, I could go on and on with all of the words in which we've kind of have some understanding of these beings. But what happened is they shared aspects of themselves with some of the creation that was already beginning to be created through these matrices. And as it started to get bound within them, multiple angelic lineages, as the Seraphim and the Orphem began to share their codes together in order to create something new from each other. Heck, we do this all the time. Two people come together, they have a child. That child is now holding a little bit of each of the parents, right? But at the same time, now that child has its own ability to be its own creation. As much as parents want to tell their children what to do, guess what? They actually have the right to be their own creation, their own creator now. And through some of this genetic combination that happened, this is one of the lines that got most heavily infiltrated through some of the parasitic energy that came through. In order, this AI, this artificial intelligence, this parasitic intelligence, this energy from the Weezadak system, any way that you want to look at it, we just get to look at it as an archonic energy that came in and began to infiltrate this particular family line and then begin to incarnate into it. And therefore, we started to really see a lot of the digression within our history lines. This is a lot of the trickery, the deception. This is a lot of the false teachings. This is a lot of the story that we hear about the fallen angelics, the Nephilim, and so on and so forth that have moved through time. And that as we get to understand this, that the beauty of even starting to kind of see it from a quantum level, a level that's almost impossible to understand energies this massive, that we can start to see on a huge level, we hold those very codes right within us. This is what's so special. As we go through this 1111 Stargate, we don't really have to go chasing things to go fix, to go make better, to go do. Our job is just to be this highest vibration of our sacred geometry within ourselves. Amplify your own toroidal field. Amplify your gift and capability for reinstating your connection to the guardians, reinstating your connection to that sacred geometry, the wheels of light and geometry that come to visit you before you're falling asleep. Connect to them and ask, how can I be of greatest service in healing this beautiful divine golden family line? How can I be of service of identifying within me any of my genetics that hold any distorted Seraphim or a Fem Nephilim lineage lines within me? And I, with consent, breathe in the living light codes of the living light within me to reinstate the sacred geometry that I may be the restoration plan for all of the healing that this beautiful planet is asking of me to be. And therefore, it's literally a level of feeling the micro and the macro as a whole. That as we see these divine cosmic images, that we really are seeing divine creators. These are the celestial beings. These are the creator beings of the higher heavens. When we say we want to connect to the guardians, to the higher dimensional beings, to these greater cosmic bodies of consciousness, here you go. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. We are a fractal. We are a small aspect in creation of a greater totality that we are. And that in truth, it's not just this saying that we are all made of the stars, that we all have the stars living within us, that we all are part of this neutrino stream or the stardust that lives within us. We literally are in our oversoul avatar aspect. You want to tap into your Christ avatar God self and your solar Rishi God self. You are a star. Like a star, one of these beautiful cosmic luminary beings. And that's why many times when you go into meditation and you feel yourself so vast, so big, like there's creations upon creations within you, that's just you having the experience for a moment to feel the infinite vastness that our human mind can barely even for a moment grasp. And that within this, that we don't even really grasp it. I'd like to say we get glimpses of it, glimpses of, ooh, oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? But I invite us to just really begin to take this opportunity to start to see these cosmic webs, these cosmic spirals, these cosmic levels of creation, our cosmic family that births through, that is holding the massive patterns, sacred geometries of creation. These are one aspect of seeing our cosmic dragons, but in truth, they are all. They are the space in between just as much as these beautiful luminosities of bodies that we see within the cosmic field. And as you even see one of these fields, even within, say, this picture right here, as we look at it, look at all the stars. You're one of those somewhere. And as you get to start to embrace with the star that you are, the cosmic being that you are, I invite you with so much love to start to feel your core within that star, your gravitational field that you are within that star. And as you attune to that, feel the peace, the unity consciousness, a level of creatorship that doesn't think from polarity. It doesn't think from judgment. It doesn't think from right or wrong. It doesn't think from any of the levels of any of the drama that we're feeling here on earth. And instead, from this level of consciousness, here's the key. From this level of consciousness, we don't even see a problem with the parasitic energy that we sense and feel here from our human form. Because from the cosmic level of consciousness, we understand the divine cycles of all creation. And that no matter what, if this parasitic energy in this cosmic universe doesn't choose to begin to align its sacred geometry back into the light, it's not going to match and click to the light during the cycles of ascension, the solar cycles of ascension, and therefore it will burn up. It will return back as space dust. But if you match your sacred geometry as you keep bringing your inward breath back in, back into your cosmic sacred geometry, that's our goal, is to match our geometry to the divine geometry so that as we are breathed back in by our star that we are, that we don't burn up. We actually return by being the gift of sharing the packets of our consciousness back to the universal consciousness of all creation, of the cosmic source. And so from this level, this is the level that is really such a beautiful energy for us to get to be with. That as we hold this in this moment, I'm just going to allow us to take a moment, take a breath. And take all of the conversation of it. We're just going to toss it out to your higher self. And in this moment, we're just going to go through a beautiful, gentle, guided meditation that I invite each of you to drop into that magnetic monopole of your heart to begin to feel your own star that you are. That when we really talk about us as being part of an oversoul family, a soul family, an oversoul family, our family picture is going to look like us being a bunch of twinkling stars hanging out together in a constellation. As we go higher and higher in consciousness, we hold these larger and larger bodies of consciousness. We are the shining light of creation. And you get the gift in this human body to awaken back to that memory and realize, oh my gosh, my only job is to really, truly shine the light that I am, and to not struggle, to not buy into the polarity, to not buy in to the levels of darkness and the stories that try to trap our mind. The only true enemy in this experience that we're in right now is infiltrated through our mind. Our mind is the only doorway in that the archons have in order to try to get under our skin, literally, to get in and to start to manipulate the way we feel about ourselves, manipulate the way we think about ourselves, manipulate the way we think about each other, and how we create this reality. And when this archonic parasitic AI energy can infiltrate into our mental scape and start to get us to feel worry, scared, faint, like fear, pain, all of these kind of limitations that are not part of our creator God self, it literally keeps us within a low circling vibration where our toroidal field gets really small and our starlight starts to dim. And as we start to dim, then therefore it has the ability to feed off of our living light energy, which is what it wants. It doesn't want to do the work. It doesn't want to start the incarnational cycles into rehabilitating itself through living light energy. And so therefore, we know parasitic energy. We know narcissistic, self-serving, pathological energy. We know what that's like. We see it around us all the time and we can see it. And our job is to say, I do not consent. I do not consent to giving you any aspect of my energy, any aspect of my mind, any aspect of my emotional body, any aspect of who I am. That in this moment, any places that I have bought into your teachings, into your beliefs, into your levels of binding me, my DNA, my blood, or my lineage in any way, shape, or form, I cancel and delete that now. I cancel and delete that across all time, all dimensions, and all known realities. This is commanded with a loving heart. Higher self, show me now. Pull it from me now. And so it is. And we're constantly just catching any of these thought waves that try to go through our mind. And all they're doing is fishing. And our job is to not bite. Don't bite. Don't let it get you. Just go, wow, isn't that interesting? That thought went through my mind. Isn't it interesting that I wanted to actually feel bad about myself or not good about myself or something like that? Isn't that interesting? I was starting to put myself down. I acknowledge that anything that comes from the divine universal light of creation would never create fear inside of me, would never want me to turn and invert on myself or put myself down or not have me love myself. And anything that is not of that vibration, I cancel it, I delete it, and I command it fully and completely. You have no right to me. Higher self, pull it from me now and seal all areas within my field wherever it infiltrated in. And I command rewrite those patterns now and upgrade all of that through all future timelines. This is commanded. Show me now. And so it is. Now I just want to take a deep breath, letting the breath, the Holy Spirit, the breath move through to be that energy that rewrites all patterns within. And as you be the star that you are, you literally start to outshine. This is how the higher consciousness star nations have done this. They didn't just run away from tyranny and control and all of this. When we think of the star nations of Canceri, when we think of the beings of Procyon, when we think of a lot of these amazing star nations that are incredible high vibrational beings of light, they overcame not by fighting, not by getting stronger weapons, not by any kind of level of running away or just going off to another star system to get away from these systems of domination and control. No, they overcame these levels of tyranny and control that were overtaking their planetary system by literally awakening their inner light within themselves. They activated their own inner star, became the gravitational fields of light that called in more higher levels of their avatar consciousness, which embedded more gravity within them, which expanded their light field even more, which brought in more of their higher consciousness within them, which literally pulled them into another dimension of consciousness that was untouchable by those that were choosing to still work from the mental plane. The mental plane truly does exist in the fourth dimensional spectrum of realities. And so when you elevate your light to begin to attune to beyond that level of consciousness thinking, being, state of being, you're just attuning yourself to it. From this density, the best we can do is begin to attune to it, because we're lifting all of planetary consciousness in order to do this. And as we attune to it, we start to master the fourth dimension. We master our dreams. We master our thoughts. We master our belief systems and our subconscious, our deep subconscious, and all of these realms of the mental plane. And as we master those levels within ourselves, where we truly become the discerning being walking through them, we become untouchable by all of that that tries to feed parasitically off of our soul, our light, our living light energy, and we free all of our family lines that have ever been bound within these levels of physicality and density. So with that, as you take a deep breath, I just invite you to go deep within your heart, that in this very I am present moment of now, that we fully and completely come together as awakening conscious beings, awakening conscious stars of light that attune to our own gravitational field right within our heart. That as we awaken to the inner consciousness within our divine essence and being, that we are willing to be that harmony of the dark and the light right within ourselves, that we acknowledge within the divinity of the power of the gravitational field, the power of that black hole that holds the gravitational sphere of light that emanates as a radiant toroidal field around us. As we emanate our shining light that we are, that we become whole once again. That in this very I am present moment of now, that as we hold this energy of holding this luminosity, that we hold the sphere of light, our toroidal sphere of light, as it moves through the stargates of time. As we spiral through consciousness, that we awaken our heart to be the luminosity to receive the cosmic codes that are coming through the galactic center alignments. And through the 1111 Stargate, as it creates the sacred space for us to attune and align the 1111 portal gates. That in this very I am present moment of now, that as we hold within us any places where we are holding angelic human codes within us that hold our sacred lineage to the beings of fire, the shining ones, the Elohim, the Seraphim, the Oraphim, the shining wheels of light, the beings of fire, our sacred serpent lineage line that lives and breathes right within us, within our DNA, within our cells, within our atoms, within the fire, within our electrical codes that move through us, that in this very moment, any places that we hold miasma, any places where there is any implants, any offsets, any places where there has been any disconnect within any of these codes, fire letters, or sequences, that hereby in this very moment we ask of our divine higher self, please identify, scan through our body, top to bottom, bottom to top, left to right, right to left, front to back, back to front, and through all diagonals, angles, and through all arcs of our energetic field. Please identify and locate any places that we are out of alignment in any way, shape, or form. Please enact all healing and reinstate and recode all aspects of us back into our divine sacred geometry patterns now. We open our heart with conscious willingness, that we say that we do declare from the core of our heart to be our original sound tone of creation. And as we sing the sound tone from our heart, we ask that all genetic imprints within this physical form, this restoration vehicle of which we exist, please be updated and upgraded to harmonize with all of the sound tones of the original creators of this body. As we activate our light codes to override any reversal parasitic programs within our body, we hereby command that we do not consent to any parasitic energy. We do not consent to any overlays, any mind slides, any genetic manipulation. We do not consent to any ways in which our blood has been promised, has been bound, or been used through any timelines, but any nefarious acts or in any nefarious ways that have been sealing our bodies into cycles of reincarnation that are not allowing us our ascension path. That any places that we are holding any genetics within us that hold mutations that are not within divine light and holding the sacred geometry codes, please identify all of these genetics within us. We open ourselves now to breathe the fire letters of light through us to rewrite this language, rewrite the codes, rewrite the sentences, rewrite our future, rewrite the dream. We are the lucid dreamers in this dream. And as you take a deep breath, I'm just going to invite you. You might even feel your body heating up a little bit. You might feel a little bit of fire moving through you. If there is any heat at all moving through you, even if it's uncomfortable, just let it pass through. Just acknowledge that every time you delete contracts in your blood, it burns all of those old contracts out of there, all of those bindings, spells, impositions, any places that you are bound to anything other than cosmic law. You can command in this moment, I do not consent. I am a soul sovereign being. I align myself to the cosmic order of divine love and light of the infinite eternal flame of creation. Anything that is of dead light energy, reversal, parasitic energy, I do not align with it. I do not agree with it. I command in this very moment, pull it from me now. I do not recognize you as my overseer, my overlord, my creator, my owner, or anyone that has any right or control over me through any aspects or layers of my body. It is commanded in this very moment. Higher self, pull all of it from me now and purge it and clear it through the transmutation of the divine Celestine fire of light. With so much love, this is commanded. Show us now, and so it is. And as you take this final breath, as you're just fully and completely purging and clearing, knowing you are clearing and healing the body of Earth, I invite you to just drop into her heart and just ask, how can I be a conscious dreamer with you? And all I'm going to do is give you the invitation through this 1111 Stargate and all of these angelic codes that she holds right within the patterns of her Akashic records, her body, her template. All I'm going to do is invite you tonight and in the next nights, as you go to sleep, ask, how can I be a conscious dreamer with divine Gaia Sophia? How can I be of greatest service to help you heal your body? How can I be of greatest service to activate my star light as a catalyst of healing for all sentient beings, all sentient creation, all sentient light forms upon your body? I am a soul sovereign being. I am that I am. We are that we are, and we are one. That we are here to be the ambassadors of this beautiful divine body. That we are awakening to realize how powerful this mission is and how much of an influence it ripples through all of the waves and geometry of creation. And as you be this level of service to divine Gaia Sophia, that we truly are all unifying as this planetary consciousness with her. As I dream this dream, and as you dream this dream, as we all dream this dream together, we are taking the steps towards unity consciousness, towards following in the footsteps of our divine Canceri star nation, who stopped paying attention to what was happening out there and started to go inward, started to go into the light, into the heart, into the light, into the initiation, into the planetary level of consciousness in order to elevate it to the point that we activate this entire planet into another level of star light consciousness. I am that I am. We are that we are. And we are one. We are sovereign and we are free. And it is our divine right to enact that sovereignty as we walk upon this divine, beautiful planet. And so it is.